Every time a Disney Snow White article comes out, I kind of wonder if the investors regret not kicking out Bob Iger, because this is going to be another absolute billion-dollar failure for Disney here, because we have the new Snow White uh, predictions on the box office, and they look worse than Madam Web, if I'm going to be honest, because we have the previous trailers here, which we have watched both of them here. So let's jump over to this one from 6 months ago, where it has 11 million views, 100,000 likes, and 1.5 million dislikes. That's a pretty damn good sign that your movie is absolutely hated and nobody wants to go see it. But it gets worse from there, because they did release another one 2 months ago that only got 43,000 likes and 1.1 million dislikes. And both of these, if we average them together, about 10 million views. Yeah, nobody wants to see this movie. Nobody likes Rachel Zegler. Nobody likes what Disney is doing. But let's go over this article, because it gets pretty funny here. So Disney's long-awaited live-action reboot of its 1937 animated classic Snow White doesn't open until March 21st. However, box office forecasts are out on Rachel Zegler Gal Gadot starring movie. Quorum reports a 3-day start with the Mark Webb director movie of 63 to 70 million, while other sources believe 65 million at this point, and time is fair. As a comparison, the 2014 Angelina Jolie Sleeping Beauty live-action spinoff opened to 69.4 million back in 2014. So they go on to say about the awareness around young women under 35 in regards to those who are willing to pay to see the movie in the theater. Women under 35 are first, followed by women over 35, and then men under 35. Okay, yeah, whatever. Don't care about that. Nobody's going to go see this. Nobody wants to see this movie. Per social media stats, film firm Relish Mix, Snow White currently counts as a reach of 279 million followers with no X or Instagram so far. One video on TikTok has 9.2 million boosted views. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I wonder if they count those views like they count watchers on X, where if you just scroll past it, it counts. I suspect that's the case, and it's TikTok. They totally make up views. Let's not pretend there. Currently, Snow White's reach on social is 2% above the family live-action movie. Snow White YouTube videos are counting 141 million views so far, with a strong viral rating of 47 to 1. Again, the people who actually watch the trailers do not like it. So this is something I'd love to see, the actual cost of this movie, because everybody said that the Merry Band of Bandits wasn't the replacement for the dwarves, but we didn't see the dwarves until recently. Let's not forget that. We didn't see dwarves in a trailer until recently, but they had to do an entire year of air quotes reshoots. Snow White was originally scheduled to come out March 22nd, 2024, so 11 months ago, before it was pushed an entire year. Out of the gate during production, Snow White was dogged by headlines over Zegler's candid statements about the original film. Yeah, where she said she hates Snow White, it's terrible, it's out of touch, she's a strong independent woman, Snow White don't need no man. Yeah, those interviews. In addition, Peter Dinklage, who isn't in the movie, called the production backwards on the Mark Maron What the Fuck podcast. A Disney spokesperson told Deadline at the time to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original anime films. We are taking a different approach with the 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community. We are looking forward to sharing more of the film heads in production after a lengthy development period. So Peter Dinklage gets roles having dwarfism, and then yanks up the ladder behind him and says no more real people as dwarves. Absolutely taking jobs away from 7 people who could have had jobs, but now get nothing. So I would overall like to see the entire budget and what it really is versus what they tell us, because it's always different. They always tell us the low numbers, and it's usually twice as much. Just for the production value alone, not even including marketing. I totally suspect this is going to end up costing 700 million to $1 billion to make, but we won't have those numbers for a while, so we'll have to guess here. But it's definitely not going to be what Disney tells us. They hired the worst person to be Snow White, who isn't white. I mean, granted, she can sing. She's not terrible, but the worst person. The entire thing, as soon as people found out Rachel Zegler was Snow White, was to call it Snow Brown. It was hilarious, and it's still hilarious to see that Disney's race swapping absolutely kills movies. The same thing people have been saying you should stop doing because nobody wants to see these movies, but now they're billions of dollars in on multiple movies where they've race swapped characters that absolutely fail in the box office. They didn't learn from The Little Mermaid. They didn't learn from any of it. Their biggest success recently has been Deadpool and Wolverine and Moana 2 that nobody talked about. They didn't say anything about Moana 2. They just kind of threw it out there and it did good. Which, I mean, hats off to Disney for making something people wanted to see apparently. But hey, two successes over the last 4 years aren't exactly a good thing to brag about. But hey, I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts in the comment section, guys. While you're there, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this one out. Until the next one, guys, be easy like sleazy.